Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to go over lesson 25. So the do now says to draw the parabola given the focus and the directrix. So remember, the focus is a point and the directrix is a line. And this allows you to find where the vertex is. The vertex lives happily halfway in between the two of them, perfectly lined up with the focus, and then opens towards the focus. Remember, your parabola hugs your focus. It loves your focus. Gives it a big hug. Okay, now the previous lesson spoke about our equations and how to plug them in, and basically this lesson does the same thing. So what I wanted to go over is the equations and what they really are doing and how you can memorize them and everything like that. So this is the up or down one, and this is your left and right one. Okay, so up or down, the x needs to be squared, and left or right, the y needs to be squared. So that's how you kind of decide which way is what. I really don't concern myself about all this stuff because as long as you can draw a picture, you would be fine. So let me just show you what I usually visualize. So basically, an upward parabola or a downward parabola is the formula with x being squared. That's always going to be minus something, and then plus or minus 4a minus something. Okay, this something is the vertex. The question mark is your vertex. Okay, when it's up, it's positive, and when it's down, it's negative. For the left and right parabola, the equation has y squared. So it's going to be y something squared equals plus or minus 4a x something no squared. When it's positive, it's to the right, and when it's negative, it's to the left, because this is opening towards the negative x values. If you can think of this as the x-axis, these are the negative values, and these are the positive values. So that's why it's negative and positive. Okay, so let's do our examples and get through this thing. So they ask you to find the directrix and focus using the parabola whose equation is this. So they give you an equation right here. It's not set equal to y. You could set equal to y to graph it on your calculator, but you can actually get all the things you need out of this. Now this is in this form, x minus something squared equals 4a, y minus something squared. No, nothing squared, I'm sorry. So in this formula, you can pull out your vertex. Your vertex is going to be 5, negative 2. It's whatever is next to the x and whatever's next to the y, but it's the opposite signs. And then your a value, well, your a value is in line with the 12. So you're going to do 4a equals 12 and divide by 4, and that gives you a equals 3. And this is really all you need to start to find the focus and directrix. So I'm going to plot my vertex at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And then I'm going to go up 3 and down 3. And the reason why I'm going up and down is because in this specific example, the x is squared. So the parabola is opening up or down, because remember, up or down, in my little picture over here, was the x is squared, okay? And in this instance, the 12 is positive, so this tells me my parabola opens up. So I'm going to count 3 above the vertex, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, that's your focus. And then 3 below, 1, 2, let me just make this a little bit bigger. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there's your directrix. So let's just make sure. Here's my vertex at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 2, up 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3. And your parabola is going to hug your focus. Okay, so what's the focus's point? The focus is 5, 1. And what is your directrix? Well, your directrix is through the y-axis, so it's y equals negative 5. Okay, so the next example says find the directrix and the focus of the parabola who has this equation. Now looking at the equation, you should notice that the y is squared here, which means that it's going to open left or right. And when you look at the 4 here, it's negative, so this means left. The vertex is here, it's these values, just you got to change the signs. So the vertex would be 4, -3, because the x is here and the y is here. It's kind of backwards when you deal with this. And then the a value is based off of this guy here, so you're going to do -4 equals 4a, divide by 4, and you're going to get a equals -1. Okay? Now really it's just 1, all right? But the negative just tells you that it's opening up to the left, okay? So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here's my vertex. We know it's going to open up to the left. And then we're going to go 1 away here, because the a value is 1 for my focus, and 1 behind here, because that's my directrix. I'm going to find my focus. My focus is 3, -3. And my directrix is, it's going through the x-axis. See, that's going through the x-axis through 5. So it's x equals 5. And that is it. Okay, moving right along. Just another example. You really should start to try to do these on your own without me. So try this one and then press play and see if you can do it on your own, basically. Okay, so again, we're going to ask ourselves, which way does this parabola open? Well, the x is squared this time, so it's either up or down. Because there's a -2, it's going to open down, so I'm going to write the word down. Okay, so I'm going to get my vertex out of this thing. And my vertex is going to be -4, +1. Because this is next to the x, change the sign. This is next to the y, change the sign. And then your a value. Well, in this case, 4a is equal to that -2. But this is going to be the first example where you have a fraction. So a is 1/2. I know it's -1/2, but really all that means is that it goes down. That's what the negative is doing. Okay, so we can really ignore the negative. So I'm going to plot -4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, vertex. And this is going to get a little bit messy. We know it opens down, so let's first off do that. It's just going to get a little bit messy because it's half, so it's going to be half below. So right in between, that's your focus, halfway. Okay, if you guys can see, I'm halfway between the two boxes. And then halfway above is going to be your directrix. Okay, so what is the point of your focus? Well, your focus is at -4, 0.5. And it is 0.5 because it is 0.5 above the x-axis. So this is 0.5 right here, okay? And then your directrix is here, and it's going through 1.5, 1.5, because this is up a half from the 1. So since it's going through the y-axis, it would be your directrix is y equals 1.5. And that's it. The decimals make it a little bit more difficult, but not too crazy. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to find the directrix and the focus of the parabola who has this equation. Now, this is a little bit different. If you notice, there's no parentheses, which is okay. You just need to remember that there's really a number next to this. It's really just 0 squared equals 8 and then x minus 0. So basically in this case the vertex is 0, 0, which is the origin. There's your vertex. Now we see y is squared, so it's going to move. It's going to open left or right, and because the 8 is positive, we're going to do right. So to the right. Find your a value. It's inside the 8, so 4a will equal 8. Divide by 4. A is 2, which means that you're going to count 2 to the right here to get your focus, and 2 behind to get your directrix. And there we go. So let's make this your focus is at 2, 0. That's your focus. And your directrix is at x equals -2 because it goes through -2 at x. And that's all they wanted there. Okay, so we're going to go back to this example. We're going to go to this one first. So this says which equation represents a parabola with a focus of -2, 5. So I'm going to do -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my focus. And a directrix of y equals 9. Of course, I don't have enough space. So let's start this over again, because 9 is way higher than I anticipated. Okay, so -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is here. There's your focus. And then y equals 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's your dotted line because it's y equals, it's horizontal. And then you're going to find how far the vertex is in between here. So it's going to open downward, okay, because the focus is below the directrix. And I see that I am 1, 2, 3, 4. So the vertex is going to be 2 away from here, so it'll be right about here. Go down. This vertex has the point of -2, 7, because we are going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now because it opens up or down, we know x has to be squared. So automatically you can cross off choices 1 and 2 because they have y squared. We also know the parabola needs to open downward, so it has to be choice 4 because of that negative. Okay? Now let's do something different here. This is just in case this is on the Regents exam. Not sure if it will be, but just in case. It says find the directrix and focus of the parabola whose equation is this. Now here's the deal. If you do not have it in the parenthesis form, like the form that I taught you to memorize, this guy here, x minus h squared equals 4a, y minus k, you're not going to be able to get the directrix and focus because you really need to find the vertex. And the vertex has to be in vertex form, which is that's vertex form. So to get that to happen, what you're going to do is bring the x's and y's on different sides. So you get x squared plus 4x equals 4y. And then you're going to do that plus blank stuff we did from completing the square. And this is why you learned completing the square. So you're going to complete the square so that you can get this to be the same thing, and then square it, and then that'll relate back to the formula. Okay? So what's the magic number that adds to 4 that is the same? Which is 2. And then 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so that's going to go on either side. And then I'll get you the x plus 2 squared. If you notice, there's a 4 in both of these, so that comes out as a GCF and giving you y plus 1. Now you have the form you want. And this form is going to let you get the vertex and the a value. And that's what we need to get the directrix and the focus. The vertex is -2, -1. I'm changing the signs. And the a value is, well, if this is 4a, 4 times what is 4? It would have to be 1. Okay? This parabola opens upward because x is squared and there's no negative in front of that 4. I'm going to have -2, -1. It's going to open upward. A is 1, so I'm going to go 1 above the vertex for my focus and 1 below for my directrix. Okay, so now what's my focus? My focus is the point -2, 0. And my directrix is the line y equals -2 because it goes through y at -2. Okay, so we're going to do another one like this. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to move the 3 over here because you want to get the x's to be by itself. And then put your plus blank here, and then you're going to need another plus blank on the other side. So basically, whoever's squared, that letter needs to be by itself. Okay. So you're going to find that magic number that goes here so that this factors into the same thing and the same thing so that ultimately it gets squared, just like the formula. So what's the number? What's the number that's going to add to 2? That's the same. It would be minus 1 and minus 1. What's 1 times 1? That's 1. We just completed the square. So we're going to put a 1 on this side. You're going to get y plus 4. Okay. Now, unfortunately, there's no number in front, but we can assume the number in front is 1. Okay? And then, like the last problem, I was able to take a GCF out. That's what I mean. Like I was able to pull out a 4, but in this case, I can't. There's no number to pull out. So it's just going to be 1 in front. Now I can get my vertex of 1 comma negative 4. We know it's going to open upward because there's no negative in front of these guys. And then your A value, well, if you know 4A in this case is equal to 1, because that's the placement it is in the formula. Remember, the formula is x minus h squared equals 4a y minus k. So this 4a here is represented by that 1 out there. Okay, so if 4a equals 1, then a would have to be 1/4. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to make our picture. We know that 1, negative 4 is our vertex. So 1, negative 4 is right here, vertex. And then your focus and directrix are going to be 1/4 away, which is, we know it opens up, by the way. Remember we said that before. This is weird. Remember 1/4 is 0.25. So it's 0.25 above this and 0.25 below that, which is like a very, very, very small value. So let's really look at it this way. So it's 0.25 here, this is your focus, and 0.25 below. That's your directrix. Your directrix is kind of easy. It's y equals, because it goes through y, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's just negative 4.25. Your focus is a little trickier. It's at 1, because it's in the line with 1, but it's below 1, 2, 3, and change. It's about 3.75 because this is above 0.25. So because it's down, it's above this 0.25, it's below this 0.75. So it'd be 1, 2, 3.75 to get to the focus. So negative 3.75. Okay, that's the rest of this lesson. I will tell you that these 2 questions here that I just did, I just taught them because it's a possibility to have something like this on the Regents. It hasn't happened yet, but it's possible, okay? But the rest of the lesson is 110% always on the Regents, no matter what. Okay, so I hope that this helped you understand parabolas more, and I'll see you guys soon.